So I was listening to this record the other day, and I thought, you know what, this record, there's two of them actually by the same artist, deserve their own video. As far as I'm concerned, that is up there with dance music greats like Voodoo Ray from a guy called Gerald, up there with Donna Summer's "I Feel Love," and the record I'm talking about is S Express, theme from S Express. What an iconic record! I remember this come out and it just blew my mind, and it was like the start of kind of sampling culture at the time. I'm gonna go through some of the samples in this record. So this came off the album original soundtrack in 1989, which was produced by Mark Moore and Pascal Gabriel, who were X Express at the time. And I thought when he started doing all the live shows and doing the Top of the Pops performances, I thought they looked absolutely fantastic. Mark Moore, I'm one of the lucky ones, and I can call him a personal friend. And even now, even though we're friends, I've known him for a long time. Even spent Christmases with him, all sorts. I'm still in awe of this guy. I think he's just super talented, super nice, and he's part of British dance culture. Mark Moore from S Express. I mean, who doesn't know Mark Moore from S Express? And one of the loveliest guys in the music industry today. I've got a lot of time, but this record was so iconic. This one here was my original copy. I played this to death, and on this you got the theme from S Express. You got the Trip, the Michael Dot house mix, and it was London at the time. It was just, when you see them on, on Top of the Pops and what they were wearing, and had that disco vibe going on, and them high heels and snakeskin furry jackets, and it was just inspiring. It was just brilliant, and what a tune. When this came on, it would definitely fill the floor. So this is my original copy. Now this came out. I got a few bits of information in here. It was released by Rhythm King and Capitol. Became an instant hit upon its release in April 1988, peaking at #1 in the UK. Brilliant, amazing. It did peak at #11 in Australia, #2 in West Germany, France, and Netherlands. But I think, remember, this is still quite a new sound, really, when this kind of dropped. I think at the same time, I think it had like Bomb the Bass Beat This, so that sampling culture, that kind of crossover of hip hop was still happening. So this track just came out and just decimated. It was just unbelievable. The thing that gets me with this is the amount of samples that are in this track. We know this track, but this track must be made up of all the samples. Now, I'm lucky enough that I got to do an official remix of this in the early noughties. So I got all the parts of this track. And let me tell you, there are tons and tons and tons of parts. I'm trying to decipher where was what. But we did the official remix for this. So the Punx Soundcheck remix of S Express theme from. Incredible. So that was such a privilege to be asked to do this. So this copy's still out there. We did a good mix. We did a good job. But some of the samples on this, I mean, you've got not just from like tracks. I mean, you've got things like Yes, Yes, This Is Wonderful, taken from the 1975 film The Stepford Wives. You've got Debbie Harry, Feel the Spin from Crush Groove soundtrack. I need to check. I've got the Crush Groove soundtrack to see if that's on there, because it was removed from the US version. Why, I don't know. So I need to check my kind of copy of that if I do have that. You've got Peach Boys, Don't Make Me Wait, from Life Is Something Special, 1983. You've got Gene Roddenberry, The Star Trek Dream from Star Trek Dream, the 1976 LP. Again, removed from the US version. Rose Royce, Is It Love You're After? That, to me, that was one of the ones that I could definitely kind of pick out. You had Yazoo's Situation, where I've listened to it. I'm trying to find out which bit from that track they used. You've got Stacey Q, Two Hearts. You've got Sam and Sham with the Pharaohs. Oh, That's Bad. No, That's Good. Classic sample from there. But there's just an array. I mean, Jill Scott Heron and Brian Jackson, The Bottle. That was a tune. All these tracks individually are just like iconic tracks, and to be able to kind of take bits from them and create something as iconic as this, and that's a craftsman there putting that together. So that was my original copy, and I've showed you our remix that came out in the early noughties. Amazing. But I've also got a really rare Carl Craig remix, and I think Mark gave me this, the Carl Craig remix, and it is outstanding, brilliant. I absolutely love this. Also, they did quite a few years ago. It doesn't really have the date on here. It's got the original logo, but this is S Express, the return trip. Some great remixes on that as well. And I remember having this on CD for a while, and I did try and hunt down the vinyl, and I did find it. And again, I think Mark might have gave me this. I think I went to see him one day. I think he was sorting his vinyl out, and I said, look, can I grab some of the vinyl? He had loads of extra copies, and I think he just gave me a pile of S Express records, which I'm grateful for, Mark. Thank you very much. And then the other one I have, I'm not sure what copy this is. I think this might have been the second version of it, because on here you've got Theme from X Express, you've got the Herbal, so you can see the covers are very different, but you've got the Herbal Tea Casualty mix on this version here, and you've got the Michael Dot House mix, which is the same on this one here. But I think it's just different covers. But again, me being a collection, I collect everything, this is it. I think this might be the promo because it's got a stamp in the corner. Not sure what that is, but it's got a stamp in the corner, so I think this might have been the promo. So that is Theme from S Express, one of the most iconic dance tracks of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about, again, it's S Express. And again, this track just blew my mind, and there's one of the reasons why. Now, the record I'm talking about is S Express with Supafly Guy. I mean, what a great follow-up, from Theme from this record here, right here. Now, this was, again, came from the original soundtrack. It came out, it was the second track released on the original soundtrack album by S Express, and was released as a single in 1988. Chart position UK number 5 after Theme From got to number 1, number 5, because I think at a particular time there's a lot of kind of big dance records coming out, so it's up against it really. The full original 12-inch mix of Superfly Guy is still not available on CD or digital in the UK, and needs to be. It's down here. Just have it on vinyl. One of the reasons why I want to kind of cite this now, I remember listening to Tim Simonham from Bon the Bass doing a DJ set, and he played this, a version of this, and I could not find out what it was, and I was hunting for it, and as it turns out, it was the Fluffy Bagel mix of Superfly Guy. If you haven't heard that mix, check it out. And it's got this Fluffy Bagel mix by the Marx Brothers, which is Mark Moore and Mark Maguire. But that, I just love the way that kind of stripped it down. It's definitely a lot more kind of wig out to that tune. But the Fluffy Bagel mix is probably one of my favourite all-time remixes of all time. It's just incredible. So Derek May was also known to play a special acetate he made of a looped edit version of this record. The Fluffy Bagel mix is a must. See, I'm just taking this information from their kind of the official website. The Fluffy Bagel mix is a must. Mark Moore and Mark Maguire, also known as the Mark Brothers, stripped the track down to an acid house monster. It definitely is. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Huge everywhere from the Detroit Underground to acid house clubs in the UK. Again, US copies had samples replaced to stick to UK versions, exception being the great US DJ promo with the wonderful Do the Boros mix. This is pretty similar to the original, but Mr. Burosa had done some cool edits and thrown in snippets of Theme and Curtis Mayfield's Superfly. Rare. I'm looking for that. I've just found out about that. I will find that record. In fact, I need to ask Mark if he's got a copy. Initial copies of the UK 12-inch had the band name and track title in green writing, centre sleeve, but this was changed to yellow so it would show up more. Great trippy artwork by Dave Little. Note change of spelling from S Express to S, Express. No reason at all. So I've got, I'm not sure which one I've got. The green one or the yellow, because he's yellow on the back. And you see what copies I've got. So I've got this copy, and I think with a hole in the corner, I think it means it's like a promo or something. This one's still sealed. I do have the open one that I used to play all the time, but this one's still sealed. And again, I may have got this from Mark. So thanks, Mark. Gave me your whole collection. But that was the original 12-inch that came out. Great sleeve, very trippy. And then you had this X Express Superfly Guy limited edition remix. And this had the Visitors mix, theme from Funky Killer, and of course, the Fluffy Bagel mix tune. And then I also bought it on, or managed to get hold of it. I'm not sure who I got this off, but this was my first copy I had. And I can't remember who I got off, but this is definitely a promo because it's got on there not for resale. To 6 minutes 55 is the Fluffy Bagel mix, and that was the one I used to play all the time. You've got to do the Boros mix on the back, which is the one that I just spoke about. That's really super rare, but it's here. So this must be worth something, I'm sure, but I'm not going to sell it because it's such an iconic record. And to finish off, we have, and I had to show this off, going through my collection, I've got loads of S Express. This is a pre-release. It's X Express original soundtrack mega mix, mixed by Colin Favor. It's single-sided, and so what he did, he got the album before it came out, just to kind of promote the album. He did a mix. But the other side, you can see it. It's all etched with the band. How cool is that? Mark Moore, always forward-thinking. What a great collector's item. So we've got a lot to thank Mark Moore for. All this great music and all these different variations. Brilliant. But I thought these records deserved their own video. And that is S Express with Theme From and Superfly Guy. If you haven't heard any of these mixes, especially the Fluffy Bagel mix, go and find them. Go and check them out. Look forward to seeing them in the next video.